It's time to hit the jackpot because you're listening to How to Bet, hosted by Daryl Sean and Sean Miller, breaking down betting into 4 categories to help you stay ahead of the game, sharing their thoughts, opinions, and analysis on how to bet it, where to bet it, and who to bet on. Now here are your hosts, Daryl Sean and Sean Miller.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to How to Bet, or How to Bet podcast. Go to HowToBet.com. We're going to show you how to bet, where to bet it, and who to bet on. I'm Daryl Fine, along with Sean, the genius Miller. Welcome aboard. We've been red hot once again, a big week. Sean, I have not had a drop of coffee, so I'm in a fucking mood today. Albeit, I'm still going to give you fucking winners today. So that's what we've been doing all season long. And let me tell everybody, the subscribe button, you're not paying to subscribe. When you go to, when you're watching us on YouTube, hit that subscribe button. It's free. It's absolutely free. There's nothing to pay for. So you're getting our picks for free.
That's right.
Other services charge.
Yeah, that's
they
right.
They can't be as good. I mean, listen, I'm surprised we're this good. And we can't hide anything. You can go back and see all our weeks archived on YouTube or wherever you're listening to this podcast. We can't hide anything. We've been red hot. There were a couple weeks we did not do well when all the underdogs, and even then we were hitting our over-unders. But there was a couple weeks we weren't doing great with all the underdogs were hitting. But all in all, we've been unbelievable. We had another unbelievable week last week. So I'm going to give you winners, bad mood or not. Sean's going to give you winners. He's always in a bad mood. What am I talking about? You don't need coffee to be in a bad mood. So, but we're at it again. Remember,
I'm in a pretty good mood.
All right?
Yeah, it's Christmas.
All right. Hit that subscribe button. Hit the like button, the notification bell. Again, everything we do here is free. Once you hit that subscribe button, nobody's asking you for money. When you go to HowToBet.com, nobody's asking for everything's free. We just want you to go there, look at the content. You'll see Sean's previews. Go down the description box, click on the links. You'll see Sean's previews, which, if you're betting, have become so important because of the injury reports / COVID report, the odds updates / COVID report, and of course you get exclusive offers to various different sports books around the world. So yes,
Those stories have become massive. I mean, not to toot my own horn or whatever, but they're in the front page of the Google search. I mean, they're top 2 or 3 in the world.
You do a great job with them, and if you're going to bet, it's important now because of mostly the COVID. Now,
it's
how
crazy.
about the line? How about the line movement on the Monday night Cleveland Vegas game?
That went from 3 to 6 to 6 the other way, back to 3, back to 3.
Crazy.
I mean, crazy. And Cleveland ended up covering because of the last second field goal. But there was an opportunity for you to win all kinds of money.
You could have middled
either
early in the week to late in the week.
Both teams.
Yeah.
Yep. You could have won if you bet during the week. You could have won no matter who you had yesterday.
And there's people in Vegas, by the way, that I guess now with the advent of online gambling and you do it right from your phone. But in the old days, there was guys in Vegas that used to just go from casino, sportsbook, and try to find the different lines and middle it. That's all they would do all day. Is run the different sports books and try to middle.
When you go to the How to Bet page, when you go to the Week 16 line story, it shows you all the different ones. So sometimes, the Browns might be 6.5 on one, 7 on another, and 7.5. Well, if you bet if you bet 7, if the game comes in at 7 and you bet, the Packers at 6.5 and the Browns at 7.5 and it comes in at 7, you win both.
Yeah.
So there's an opportunity for you to make some money doing this stuff, and I think. That's what I talked about last week a little bit with the what was it, like the if it here 1 to 6 and 1 to 6 on both teams.
Yes.
If it's a close game and it's plus 400 with one team and plus 380 on another, and the game like yesterday, the Browns game, either way you're winning money. So if you bet 100, you make 580 on one and you lose 100, so you're plus 480.
Yeah.
So there's an opportunity to bet both teams.
You can win when losing sometimes. While you're losing. Yeah, and the live betting, I've been doing unbelievably well on the live betting. So that's a new feature that I'm loving. Again, leave comments. Go down, leave comments, whether good or bad. Ask for merchandise. We have swag. We've been giving out swag, so you want to take advantage of that, please do. And again, as I said, get to that description box. Go to howtobet.com. Sean's previews are up there, and they become very important for you bettors. Remember, bet with your head, not with your heart. Don't go over your means. If you believe you might have a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. There's other services out there for help, too.
I think, this week, obviously, we're taping, and they're playing these crazy games, 2 games on Monday, 2 games on Tuesday because of COVID, but that's not going to be the case anymore. I guess they changed.
Well, they changed the way I said this on the show a couple weeks ago. You can't if you don't have symptoms, don't stop testing all the time. If a player has symptoms, let them then go self-report. They might not, they might, but this new variant is really, every player is asymptomatic. They don't even know they have it.
That's the thing.
As long as you're vaccinated.
Here's obviously soccer fans. So Manchester United, had 2 games canceled because they had, 20 guys in the squad. It started with 3 guys, but you're around it. So it's really contagious, but it's a cold.
Yes.
So it's mild. So now 20 guys. But to be honest, like you said with Aaron Rodgers, the best thing now is they all had it. So now when you're going forward, now for the next 3 months, they don't have to worry about it. They're not going to get sick. So now, my team is in good shape because the whole squad had it. So some of these other teams haven't had it. So if you're trying, whatever, if you get this, you don't want to get it in the middle of January when you're in the playoffs. You want to get it now, be better, and whatever.
You really don't want to ever get it. But
it's impossible.
Or you want to get it and not know you ever had it.
You can't, if you're in a room with 53 guys, that's the problem. It's just, you're just around the people all the time. You're just going to get it.
Live life. Live life, people. Live life. Hey, I want to talk a little bit about a game we both won last week. Kansas City and the Chargers. We both had Kansas City, and we have to thank Brandon Staley, the boy genius. After the first month of the season, they had this guy going to the Hall. The media had this guy going to the Hall of Fame. Man, you can't be that. You can't be that arrogant and dumb. Arrogant and dumb. It's kind of like togetherness. Arrogant and dumb. You have to kick field goal. Fourth and goal from the 4, kick on the first drive of the game, kick a field goal. Last play of the first half. No time left. No timeouts. Kick a field goal. He left 6 points on the field, and that is why the Chargers lost the game. We both had Kansas City. We're happy about the result. But here's what happens. It is the trickle-down effect. It's like baseball. These genius, everybody's like a robot. I'm going to now bring my reliever in the 9th inning with a 3-run lead. I'm going to bring my closer in no matter what, 3-run lead or less. I'm bringing him in to start the 9th inning. Somebody did. I think it was La Russa, to be honest with you. And then everybody did it. Everybody followed suit. Everybody, like robots. Boom, boom, boom. Same thing's happening now in the NFL. Everybody's going on 4th down in situations where field goals should be kicked. Put the points on the board. Put the points on the board. Doesn't make sense. Analytics, stick it up your ass. So
Here's another
that's
thing.
That's my PSA for the day.
I want to say something too, because before the season, when we did those early shows, I was on the Cardinals early.
Yes.
And they're still, I don't know what's going to happen with them, but they're they have a lot of injuries. So I said the Eagles. I thought they were going to be better than they were.
You had the over.
And the one thing I was adamant about since, I always thought that the Chiefs were going to turn it around. The Chiefs were plus 1,600 at one point to win the Super Bowl. They're down now to plus 450, same as the Packers now. They've won 7 in a row, and they're they're on fire. They're going in the right direction, and now. The value is, still plus 450 is good.
Yeah.
But, if you had them at plus 1,600, which I did, because I always thought they were going to turn it around, and they did. And this team is going to be.
Defensively. Unbelievable.
Yeah. And this week in the things I talk about, the teams that are going to be very dangerous in the playoffs. Obviously, the Chiefs. But, there's a couple teams I think that if they get in, obviously the Chiefs. I think the Colts, wherever they're seated, if the Colts and the Chiefs are on opposite sides of the bracket, I think that's the championship game. I think obviously they played.
I mean, the Colts still have work to do.
Yeah, they have work to do. I'm just saying, if they get in, I think the Cowboys are in that thing. I think the Rams are in that thing, and I think the 49ers are right now. The 49ers
really
are
playing well.
Yeah, they're on. They're all trending in the right direction. And all those 5 teams, that NFC West. I mean, Seattle still could get to 500.
They could. I don't
think they will.
But
they have a chance. But the Rams, the 49ers, the Cowboys. I think the Cowboys are going to be dangerous because their defense. They're another one. Their defense is playing well.
Cowboys playing well. Listen, what we've learned here, I think, is even the teams that are getting the playoffs, a lot of them stink.
Yeah, so there's going to be a lot of teams.
NFL wants parity, they got parity.
Yeah, I think there's going to be some teams that get in, and they're going to get rolled over in the playoffs. But there's going to be some teams and the Colts could still win the division.
The Colts could win the division.
That's the crazy thing. Yep. I mean, they still have a chance. I mean, it's going to be this week. It's going to be this week.
If you're Frank Reich, and there was weeks that this happened or didn't happen, why wouldn't you just feed him the ball over and over and over again?
22 years. I mean, I say this again. He's a Jersey guy. I know him because I used to cover him. He's a 100-meter and 200-meter track guy so I used to cover track. So he won junior and senior year in New Jersey State titles. So I talked to him a lot, and talked to him before he went out to Wisconsin. And this guy is a superstar. Yeah. He's going to end up with 2,000 yards. I say he should be the MVP. He's the most important person to his team.
I agree.
He won't win.
He could.
His odds are so far down. He's plus 3,000 at this point. Like if he has 200 yards in the next 3 weeks, he could get in like Rodgers. But it's going to probably be a quarterback. But he might be the most important player to his team. Wentz only completed 5 passes.
My point with Indianapolis is who do you want to handle the ball more?
Of course.
Wentz or Taylor, and that's the key to there. So I would the recipe for success is continue to feed that guy the ball. Remember, a Jersey guy. Remember to hit that subscribe button. Again, it's not going to cost you anything. I promise.
It's free.
Hit that subscribe button. Hit the like. That thumbs up. And then the notification bell. Leave us comments. Leave us. You want swag? Ask for merchandise. We'll get you out merchandise. The description box. Click those links. Go to HowToBet.com. It'll take you there to Sean's previews. Important previews because they're changing with the injury/COVID odds.
It's crazy.
And then exclusive offers to sports books around the world. When we come back, our parlay power plays of the week coming at you next. HowToBet, HowToBet.com.
Let's go.
Welcome back to How to Bet, hosted by Daryl Fine and Sean Miller, giving their thoughts, opinions, and analysis on how to bet, where to bet, and who to bet on.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to How to Bet, our HowToBet.com podcast. We thank you for joining us, whether you're listening or watching on YouTube. We appreciate it. We know there's a gazillion different options, so we appreciate you watching and listening to us. And those of you on YouTube, hit that subscribe button, the like button, the notification bell. That subscribe button doesn't cost you anything. All our picks here are free.
That's right.
Free. You'll never be asked for any money. When you go to howtobet.com or when you hit that subscribe button on YouTube, you're not going to be asked for money. So hit that subscribe button, go down a little further to the description box, hit those links, and then you're going to find previews. Sean the Genius Miller's previews, injury updates, /COVID updates, so they're important.
Man.
Odds, they're changing because of COVID, and then exclusive offers to different sports books around the country. Also go up the comments, leave comments. You'll see the comment line, leave comments, good or bad, or if you want merchandise, ask for merchandise. We'll get it out to you.
Swag. You know how hard it was this week to go through that. Because I do these previews and everything. You go through this injury report and you're like trying to sift through and you're like, it's COVID. But then, all these guys are starting to come back off of injured reserve because, so like they're saying, they're moving the games around. So like, a guy that maybe wasn't going to play on Saturday might play on Monday or Tuesday. So hit the microphone there. So, it's tough. I mean, you have to make sure you're checking the checking the injury report constantly, especially this week.
Yeah. It is time for our parlay power plays of the week. Again, we did very well again last week. It's unbelievable. Again, these picks are free. What we're giving you is free. You'll never have to pay for them. And I'm saying that multiple times because we've been unbelievably successful. We had a couple bad weeks when the underdogs were all winning, and even then we hit our totals very well, our over-unders. But all in all, man, this has been unbelievably successful.
You also make sure you follow us on Twitter, at the Prodigal Sean, at FineLine33, because once again, we have other stuff. Yeah. Obviously I have European football, so and my picks have been unbelievable in that. So I'm just red hot right now. Yeah. So
it's like, and we can say anything we want, right? But you can go back and look.
Yeah. Look,
everything's archived.
Look, there's all these people, and you have these services who say, "Oh, look, man, I hit 5 winners last night in my thing behind a paywall." Well, how do I know that? Like, our picks are out there. Our picks are out there for everyone to see, here and everywhere else. So, we stand behind our stuff, and we've been good. So I think that's the big thing about this.
So, yeah, absolutely. We stand behind it, and we've been really good. So, it's our time for our parlay.
Now we've been fired. The crazy upset weeks.
Yeah. Our parlay power play of the week. And, by the way, the reminder, next week, it's bowl season. We're going to get into the bowls next week. There's some good bowls about to take place, and we're going to get into that next week. But for now, our parlay power play of the week, NFL style. Sean, you go first. Who you have on your parlay power play of the week?
All right, so my first game,
week 16.
It's going to be the Sunday night game, hopefully. I'm going to take Dallas minus 9.5 over Washington. Now, look, I don't know what Washington is going to do. Obviously, Tuesday night against the Eagles. If they win, which Trey hopes they do, they're 7-7. They're right in the middle of the playoff race. If they lose, they're 6-8, and they probably have to win out, which they're probably not going to do. But to me, it doesn't matter right now because Dallas is in the middle of a playoff seeding race. Green Bay's 11-3. That there's 3 teams that are 10-4 right now. The Cardinals are starting to falter a little bit. You got Tampa Bay, obviously faltered and they're banged up. So, Cowboys, if they went out and get to, the 2 seed, I think that's really big because they're playing at home all the way until the championship game. And obviously as a 2, you get to play the 7, who's going to be a bad team. So, I just think I don't really care what Washington does on this Tuesday night game. Obviously, if they get banged up, it's even better. But I'm going to take Dallas, just thinking they have to win. They've already beaten Washington on the road, 27-20. And the last 5 years, this has been a sweep for the team that won the first game. Washington won both last year, and since the other 3 years before that, it was Dallas. So I'm going to go Dallas there.
So Dallas minus 9.5 at home against the Washington football team. Number 2 for you.
I'm going to go with one of your early teams here, and I'm going to go against one of the teams that I think is big. I'm going to go Tennessee here over San Fran on Thursday night. I just think, look, San Fran is playing really well. I think this is going to be a close game. 3.5, I think, is a lot. Right now I'm hoping it even goes up to like 4. Tennessee is 9-5. This is a big time game, by the way. 9-5 against 8-6. And they come in opposite trajectories. 49ers are red hot, won 5 of 6. Tennessee's lost 3 of 4. I mean, that game was crazy. They got stopped at the 10. I mean, by the way, I don't know if you watched that game, the Steelers game. Did you that tackle by Hayden?
Yes.
Unbelievable play.
And they gave him a favorable spot.
Oh, the spot was terrible. Yeah. It was a yard behind
terrible.
it. No, I mean, I was watching that. I'm like, man, my buddy Myron Thiessen from Belize. I mean, he's a big Steelers fan. That crazy play. But I just think that Titans are going to start getting some players back in the fold. And it's at home. I think last chance, last stand. I think Tennessee's a little bit better team than the 49ers. I just think, I might take a chance on the money line straight up. I mean, you can get them at plus, 165 right now. So
Tennessee plus the 3.5 at home against
what do you think
San
about
Francisco.
That game?
Well, we're going to get into that in our prime time
right.
bets. Yeah, we'll get into that in prime time.
Oh, that's right. It's
I won't
Thursday
give it
weekend.
away.
Yeah.
All right, and complete your. No, I hit the microphone. Complete your parlay power play of the week.
Man, this game, it's crazy. Cincinnati, Baltimore. I'm going to take Cincinnati minus 2.5. I can't even imagine, like 3 or 4 weeks ago, that if you would have told me this is for the division title, which it might not be because the Steelers are, the Steelers have all these games and the Browns have all these games, but this is it. I mean, these two teams are 8-6, and Baltimore's just so decimated. I mean, Baltimore was a really good team at one point, and they've just had so many. It just happens sometimes. So many injuries and COVID and sickness and illness and whatever.
And they keep going for 2 instead of extra points.
Yeah. I mean, you could kill them for that. Just if it's obviously if they make it or whatever. But I just 2
losses because they haven't. No, we don't know that they would have won in overtime, but.
I just think the Bengals are healthier, and the Bengals are they're in a good spot, and I just think you got to take Cincinnati here.
Bengals beat them in Baltimore, so Cincinnati minus 2.5 at home against Baltimore. So Sean's parlay power plays of the week: Dallas minus 9.5 at home against Washington, Tennessee plus 3.5 at home against San Francisco, and Cincinnati minus 2.5 at home against Baltimore. Now, my parlay power plays of the week for week 16, I'm doing something that I don't always like to do, and that is I'm taking
underdogs,
a terrible team as well. I'm taking a terrible team against a terrible team. So I am actually going to have some interest in the Detroit-Atlanta game. I am going to take Detroit plus the 5 at Atlanta. I think this is time for Atlanta to fold their tents for good. Detroit plus 5 at home against Atlanta.
It's interesting.
Detroit's playing hard. They're coming off a big win. So yes, I'm
Falcons are every other week team.
Yeah, I think they're about done. So I'm going to take Detroit plus the 5 at Atlanta. My next game this could surprise you a little bit, but I like the points in this one against the team that's playing is, probably maybe better than any other team, but I'm going against them. I'm going to take Pittsburgh plus 10.5 at Kansas City, at Arrowhead. Pittsburgh plus 10.5. I don't expect Pittsburgh to win, but I do think it will be close enough where I can take the 10.5 and feel good about it. So I'll take the Steelers plus the 10.5.
I think, obviously he's never going to win it, but I think you could make the argument that Mike Tomlin should be the coach of the year.
He's every year he does a
He's
great
unbelievable.
job.
I mean, that team stinks.
They stink. They stink.
And they're going to finish. They're this close to making the playoffs.
It's a huge game for them. I think they'll play hard, and I think they'll be in it. So I'll take the 10.5, and I will finish my parlay power play of the week with your same third game, and that is Cincinnati. I'm going to take Cincinnati at home minus 2.5 against Baltimore. I think Cincinnati's the better team right now. They'll be at home, so I will give up those 2.5. So my parlay power play is Detroit plus 5 at Atlanta, Pittsburgh plus 10.5 at Kansas City, and Cincinnati minus 2.5 at home against Baltimore.
No thought about taking the Jets-Jaguars game?
No thought about even watching.
This is how big is this for the? It's a massive game for the draft order. If the Jaguars can pick up a huge loss here,
Man,
I mean, how
what
bad?
What a horrible game that is. There's a couple of real bad games.
Hey, there's been a few of those where they've been these matchups, but last week I know Houston and
terrible. So yes, well, pretty much anybody that Jacksonville plays, or the Jets. So they
or the
are
Giants.
Parlay power plays of the week for week 16. Remember, you YouTubers, hit that subscribe button, the notification bell, the like, thumbs up. We appreciate it. And we'll be back with our prime time bets of week 16. After this, go to HowToBet.com.
Let's get it.
And we're back with How to Bet, hosted by Daryl Fine and Sean Miller.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to How to Bet, our How to Bet podcast. Go to HowToBet.com. We're going to show you how to bet, where to bet it, and who to bet on. I'm Daryl Fine, along with Sean, the Genius Miller, and we thank you for tuning in as always, and we appreciate you. I know you have a zillion different option. So we appreciate you listening and watching on YouTube. And while you're watching on YouTube, hit that subscribe button. It's absolutely free. It's subscribing, but you're not paying anything. We promise you'll never have to pay anything when you hit subscribe or go to howtobet.com. So hit that subscribe button. Everything here is free. Hit the like button, the notification bell. Scroll down a little bit more to leave comments. We love comments, good or bad. And then, of course, ask for swag. We have merchandise to give you. So ask for the merchandise. We'll get it out to you. We appreciate your comments, as I said. And then a little further down, go to that description box. Hit the links. Those links will take you to Sean the Genius Miller's previews, injury updates /COVID, odds updates /COVID, and then, of course, exclusive offers for sports books around the world. So get there now at howtobet.com. And again, we appreciate you tuning in. We have been red hot. It is time for our prime time bets of week 16. Again, we've been scorching hot, and everything is free. You'll never have to pay for these picks. Other services you might, but not here. Here, everything is free. We promise. I absolutely promise you.
You even get some free gear if you ask.
Free gear, even free gear. Not only the picks are free gear. We don't even charge you for the shipping. So yes, get to howtobet.com, and again, we appreciate you tuning in. If you have a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. There's help for you out there. Bet with your head, not with your heart. So Thursday night football. It was a good one last week. It was a great one last week. Hopefully this one will be as good as well.
I want to say something before you.
Go ahead.
I'm going to I have to, because the NFL sometimes, these primetime games haven't been whatever, over the last like 4 or 5 years. Sometimes the Thursday night games have been a bit dogs. But the schedule maker this year deserves a raise because the Thursday night games have been fantastic. Even like the Saturday night game now, this is big time. The Sunday games have been really good. Obviously, the flexing and stuff. And I'll be honest, even the Monday night games have been good. Sometimes they've been bad, but they've been really good. And not only have they been good to watch, but they've been good for bettors. I think, there's been some dogs that have come in. If you're a dog bettor, there's been some, prop plays that you can win. So I think, you got to give props to the schedule maker because this year's been really good. And this is another big time game.
Props to the schedule maker. It's I'm pretty sure that's all luck, but good job this year. And
good luck this year.
So we've done well, and Thursday night game, this should be a good one as well. Tennessee hosting San Francisco. San Francisco -3.5. They're playing very well. Tennessee, look, you have the best running back or either the first or second best running back in football. He's down till the playoffs. I'm talking about Derrick Henry. So,
he might be back this last week.
Tennessee just not as good. Not as good without him. Also, A.J. Brown down, Julio Jones down. This team is struggling with injuries. San Francisco got healthy, and their running game looked pretty good last week. So they are a 3.5-point favorite at San Francisco at Tennessee. Excuse me. Who do you like in this one? Well, we know who you like. We know. The cat's out of the bag. It's part of your parlay power play of the week.
Look, I mean, basically, if you go to the preview here, I mean, basically, I said everything points to a 49ers road win here, but this year's been weird, especially these Thursday night games. So I'm going to look the other way and pick the Titans. I just think, it's a big game. It's at home. Tennessee's had some big games, big wins this year, and I just think, this is like their last thing. I think if they lose this game, I think the Colts catch them. I think they know that, and I think they hold the tiebreaker with the Colts. I talked about this on the Saturday night story. They hold the tiebreaker with the Colts, but if they pull even with 2 games to go, I think the Colts pass them.
Yeah, I mean, again, it's a big game. Obviously, a little bigger for San Francisco at this point, though, because they're still chasing that playoff spot, and they've been playing very well. I'm going to go the other way. I'm going to take San Francisco -3.5. Wilson ran the ball well. Samuels is looking healthy, back to 100%.
Oh, he's a beast.
Garoppolo and Kittle's back. I mean, Kittle's been unbelievable. Garoppolo takes a lot of heat. Look, he's not a great quarterback, but I don't think he's as bad as a lot of people say he is. He managed his game pretty well. Again, not a superstar, but he'll get the job. I think he'll get the job done.
He's
here.
That next tier down. I think. I mean.
I think he takes some unnecessary heat.
Hey, look, I mean, if
he was a throw away from winning a Super Bowl.
Yeah, if their defense stops the Chiefs at all in the fourth quarter, he's a Super Bowl champion quarterback.
Yeah, so I think he takes a little unnecessary heat. I just think San Francisco's just playing so well. They look good to me. They look like a team that if they do get into the playoffs, you don't want to face them.
Very dangerous team.
Very dangerous.
I got a couple of props for this game.
Go ahead. Far away.
I mean, personally, if you think the Titans are going to win here, you could take them on the money line at plus 145, but you could also take them, minus 2.5 and get them at plus 80. If you think the Titans are going to win, I would take them minus 2.5 and get them at plus 180. I think the Titans team total over 16.5 points. It's right around 120, minus 120. Like, if the Titans, I think this is going to be, there's going to be some points scored in this game. I don't think this is going to be a low-scoring game. I think both teams will score some points. I took the Titans race to 20 points, plus 170, just because I think they win. If you think the 49ers are going to win, I think you can get that at minus 120. So if you like the 49ers to win the game, you can get them at the race to 20 points on 120. So it depends. Pretty good value. So
yeah, I do. I obviously like them to win the game. I have minus 3.5.
How about this? In the I talk about this race to 10 race to points, whatever. So they have race to 10 points. So in that Saints Bucks game on Sunday night, neither was like plus 11,000.
Right. Yeah.
So if you bet neither would get 10 points, you would have been you could have you would have won a lot of money.
It's a lot of money.
Who would have thought that?
Wow. Yeah, not in today's NFL.
Yeah, that's right.
And not with Brady.
200 first time in 255 games.
Wow. How about that? Well, that's big. That would have been a big score there. All right, so Thursday night game. Sean likes Tennessee. I like San Francisco in that one. There's 2 on Saturday this week. Our Saturday night games. We have Green Bay at home against Cleveland. Green Bay 7-point favorite. And Indianapolis at Arizona. Arizona 1.5 favorite. Remember, we want you on YouTube. We want you on YouTube to hit that subscribe button, hit the notification bell, the like button, go down and leave comments, ask for merchandise. We'll get it out to you. And a little further down the description box, hit that. Go to those links where you'll find Sean's previews, injury updates, COVID updates, odds updates, exclusive offers to different sports books around the country. So get there, get to HowToBet.com. And again, a couple Saturday games here in the NFL. And Sean, the Green Bay Packers, -7 at home against Cleveland. I'll go first on this one. Cleveland coming off a tough loss. Now, they'll be healthier for this game, but, Green Bay, 7's a lot of points here, but Green Bay's playing so well. They're at home late December. I just think everything here points to Green Bay, and then that should close Cleveland out for the rest of the season.
Yeah, it's a tough game because Cleveland's defense is so good. The under here is 45.5. Which might allude to something later. It's actually going down to 45. I'm going to take Green Bay as well. Cleveland's defense is really good.
They're
they
good,
just carry
it's
Miles
Rodgers.
Garrett is
Does Rodgers really care about defenses?
I just
Green
don't
Bay's
see,
defense has been pretty good for the most part.
They
gave up 2 late ones to Baltimore. They almost lost that game to Baltimore, which was shocking. But I
could see this being like 21-10, 21-13, 24-13.
Does it matter to you whether it's Mayfield or Mullins or Keenan? Does it matter in this one to you? Yeah, like let's say it's Mayfield, and I think
he's a step above those other guys,
and it will be Mayfield.
Yeah, I think he's a step above.
Does that change your opinion of the game?
Probably not. But I just don't think they can score enough points. Green Bay's once again. This is a big game for both teams, but Green Bay's got to keep. If Green Bay wins, if they get the top seed, it's really big for them because all the teams got to come there, and that's a big difference in going south.
Very big. You go to Lambeau. in the playoffs, it could prove very big for the Packers. It should be Mayfield. Remember, you go to howtobet.com and you can find the previews updated, and you'll find out if it will be Mayfield as the previews will be updated at howtobet.com. So we both
I would
agree
take
then?
a chance on this. I mean,
-7.
Fox Bet's got a pretty good a bet. Green Bay -6.5 and over 45 is +225. Green Bay -6.5 and under 45 is +220. So there's one where if you think Green Bay's going to cover, you can middle it. I mean, you take both, and you got a chance to win either way.
And you can find exclusive offers at howtobet.com on different sports books, and a lot of them now do offer these same game parlays, which is some
those, right?
have been doing very well with the same game parlays, live betting. So that has been good.
That's the thing. I mean, with these, there's so many different bets on these games. There's 150, 200, 300 parlays or props bets on these games, and
including player props.
Player props, you can usually find one. I know, our guy Rick Fortenbaugh from the Trentonian is he's a big fan of the show, and he sees these little prop plays, and he'll put these in and win a lot of money on them. So
we appreciate him being a fan of the show and
making
money
too.
with us.
Big Arsenal
I don't know
fan.
anything about that. Saturday night football this week. Indianapolis coming off a big win at Arizona.
Kings
Arizona
of Saturday night football.
Yeah, Arizona coming off a terrible loss, and Arizona is a 1.5 favorite in this one. You go first.
I mean, I take the Colts. I mean, I've just been on them
Jonathan
for a
Taylor
couple
and the
weeks.
Colts.
Yeah, I just, Arizona is so banged up, and the Colts are basically healthy. I mean, they have some long-term injuries, but the Colts are really getting healthy here. And, Taylor's unbelievable. I mean, this is basically a pick 'em. I'll take Indianapolis on the money line here instead of the points. I don't think they win by, I don't think they lose by 1. I think they're going to win the game or lose the game.
Arizona's still vying for that top spot, but they also have to
I think
worry
they're in
about
trouble
winning
with the top spot
division.
because now, I mean, they're a game back of the Packers, and they lose the head-to-head. So basically, they're 2 games down. So, I mean, they just basically have to make sure they hold off the Rams at this point. Because now if you lose the division, you're on the road in the first round, and you're playing a decent team. So it's tough. I think the Colts are a better team. I think the Colts are a very dangerous team in the playoffs, and I like them. The Colts money line was at +150 for this game. I like Colts over 20.5 points. I mean, you just think they're going to score some points in this game against Arizona, and you get it for basically -110.
Yeah, I like Indianapolis in this one too, just because the way things have been going. Indianapolis playing better, Arizona not playing very well, even though the game's out in the desert. My thing here is, the Colts are dangerous if Frank Reich pushes the right buttons, and we've seen him not push the right buttons during the season. If he's going to let Jonathan Taylor, his defense first is good.
Yeah.
All right. But on offense, if he's going to let Jonathan Taylor, which it would be bizarre if he didn't, win the games instead of Carson Wentz, then they're very dangerous. But we have seen times where he has put the ball in Wentz's hands. I mean, Wentz will always have the ball in his hands. It's just a question whether he hands it off or throws it after that. So we have seen times this year where, you're on camera.
I had to get something.
Okay, well, he's the genius. So that's there has been times where it just he has had Wentz try to win games, and that is not a good idea. Especially if you have Jonathan Taylor. So, but in this one, I do think Reich will continue to feed Taylor the ball, and I'll go with the Colts.
I'm going to say something though. I think when the Colts get in the playoffs, Wentz can make some plays if he has to. I think that the Colts. I'm telling you, I just really think the Colts could make a run in the playoffs.
Yeah. They have to get there first.
Yeah, they got to get there.
Yeah, it's not an easy road.
At this point, they're 8-6. I mean, I think they play. They have 2 bad. I think they play like the Jags.
It's not a completely easy road beginning here in Arizona. I mean, we both like Indianapolis, but it's certainly not a gimme here.
They play Vegas and Jacksonville last 2 weeks.
Yeah, so
Vegas at home and Jacksonville, who's going to probably be playing for the the top pick.
So it looks good, but
Yeah.
you never know.
This is a big game, though. If they win this game and the Tennessee loses, it comes down to the 2 games. I know Tennessee plays Houston last week. So Tennessee plays Houston last week, and the Colts play Jacksonville. So basically, it comes down to week 17. So, it's going to be interesting. But once again, another huge primetime game. I mean, this is the primetime games this week. You can't say enough about, because this game is, the Thursday night game is big, the Sunday night game is big, the Monday night game is massive. So I mean, they've done a really good job, and some of it's luck, because I don't know how they thought, the Dolphins and the Saints at this point.
Yeah.
Well, both teams were very good last year. So
yeah, it should be an interesting. It's great for the viewership, that's for sure.
And
I'm
for
enjoying
bettors,
them.
man, if you these games here with if you think the Colts, I mean, you're getting some value on the money line here. So you get some value.
Sunday night football, and remember, you YouTubers, hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, the notification bell, everything. All our picks are free. You don't have to, you're subscribing, but you're not paying. Go to howtobet.com. Everything's free. You'll never be asked for any money, credit card, nothing. Everything we do here is for you and for free, and we've been crushing it. Just go look back at the archives. I mean, it's right there. We can't hide anything. We've been doing very, very well. Sunday night football at Dallas. Dallas, 9.5-point favorite over those football teamers. Washington, Washington's been just kind of, they have had their injury problems, then the COVID. They've been hanging around. You got to give them credit for hanging around this year. They've been battling through it all, and this is a tough spot for them. 9.5-point dog for the football team at Dallas. We already know that you love Dallas in this one because it's part of your parlay power plays of the week. Dallas minus 9.5. They played a couple weeks ago, and Dallas really controlled the game, but let the football team back in it. I could see something like that occurring again here in this one. Sometimes Dallas takes some plays off, some quarters off. So I'm going to take the football team plus the 9.5, and it's a rivalry type game. I'm going to take the football team plus 9.5. Now, I don't expect Washington to win the game, but I do think that somehow, some way, when the final horn sounds, I think that they keep this game within 9 points.
Really?
That's where I'm going. Yep, I'm taking the points in this one. Again, I wouldn't go money line. I just think that this, I could see clearly a backdoor cover here.
I just, I mean, you know what I think. I just think this. I have a feeling this Dallas team, just like I kind of say with the Colts, I think this Dallas team with Micah Parsons is unbelievable. And I saw him
the steal of the draft.
I saw him go out in coverage and cover a receiver and make a play down the sidelines 40 yards from the line of scrimmage. And I was just like, man, this guy is an absolute monster.
Unbelievable.
And he was supposed to be a top 5 pick and just dropped because they, I don't know, his attitude or whatever it is. I mean, who cares? He's a monster.
Attitude on the field's pretty good.
Yeah. But, their defense is playing well. And I just, their offense is pretty good. I just, it's going to be interesting to watch.
There'll be pretty good prop bets on there too. A lot of player props on that one.
I'm going to give you one,
especially on the Dallas side.
See, I'm going to go. I'm going to go the other way. I'm going to take Cowboys minus 13 alternate spread, and you get plus 160.
See, I don't like that at all.
On that, I just think they went too. I know. I'm going to go the opposite. Cowboys race to 30 points is plus 105.
How about now? This will be. You'll have to pay the odds on this, and if you feel this strongly, because another bet I've been doing very well on. I've been going against the Giants, the Jets, the usuals.
Yeah.
I've been betting teams to win both halves.
Okay.
Yeah, I've been winning. I've been doing very well with that. And
so
if you think that this
Cowboys both half,
if you think that this is going to be a game where where the Cowboys will dominate and certainly win both halves, it's been a good bet.
plus 120.
Plus 120. So if you think they're going to dominate the game, then you probably like them to win both halves, and you're getting plus odds.
The other thing you could do is lead. If you think they're going to blow them out, you lead after every quarter because it doesn't matter. You don't have to win every quarter. You just have to be winning.
Is not. And there's the odds don't come into play here.
Yeah.
You're just asking them to win both halves straight up.
If you're up 14-0 after the first quarter, now the chances you're going to lead after every quarter here are pretty good. So that's Dallas plus 120 for the football team. It's plus 1250. So.
Yeah, it's been a great bet for me. I mean, I've been doing very well with it.
The props, you could find so many prop plays and make some money.
I don't. This is actually going to sound stupid, but they're making it a little easier to win money. Overall, people, it is not easy to win money. But if you look, you're finding some bets that. Listen, I'm having the best year I ever had.
Yeah.
So I'm.
I like Fox Bet. So sometimes they'll do a thing like Aaron Rodgers to complete a pass plus 100, but you can only bet. You can only bet. You can bet $10, but it's a free $10. It's
a free $10.
So now you win 20. Now you're up 20, and then you put that into another bet, and then all of a sudden you win that, and then you're winning some money. So you have to be on the apps to see it. So if they're going to give you free $10 or free $20, just take it. Yeah. And then see if you could turn that into something else.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what I've been doing.
I don't know if I don't bet like 100 a game or thing. When I do these parlays, I do 20, 30, 40, whatever it is.
That's the beauty of parlays. You don't have to bet a lot to win.
Yeah, exactly.
Win a lot. So that's the beauty of parlays. But the downside is they're very difficult to hit.
Yeah,
but
man. I had a 6-teamer the other day, and the first 5 legs came in, and Real Madrid let me down for about 500.
Same thing happened to me. With I had to finish it with Old Dominion and Tulsa. I had the over.
Oh yeah,
I needed another touchdown, and I still had 7 minutes to go, and no scoring after that. So it happens. It's crushing when it happens.
That's the life of parlay betting, man.
Yeah, it happens. Again, bowls next week. We'll have plenty of bowls for you next week. For you college football lovers, and we'll get those out to you, and that'll be. I love it too, so we'll cover those pretty well for you next week. Our Monday night football game brings us to New Orleans. The Big Easy, Miami plus 3 points in this one. New Orleans a 3-point favorite against Miami. Remember, you watching on YouTube, hit that subscribe button, the like button, that's the thumb up there, the notification bell. Go down, leave comments, whether they're good or bad. If you want merchandise, ask for it. We have shirts, we have hats, we have.
I actually need some merchandise, to be honest.
I'll give you merchandise.
I give some people. I gave the athletic director over at Northern Burlington a hat yesterday.
There you go. And you're sitting right next to me. You don't even have to type it out. You just ask me for it. So yes, merchandise. Then go down a little further. That description box. That's where you're going to find the links to Sean's previews, which also include updated injury/COVID reports, odds/COVID reports, and then exclusive offers to various sports books around the country, around the world.
This has been big. We talked about this earlier in the show. If you were on the stories early last week when they were posted, they usually go up Tuesday, Wednesday. And took that Browns-Raiders game, there was a possibility that you won money in like 20 different ways in that game. And that's the thing. You get on early, you see the early lines, maybe you make a play, and then the line moves and stuff, and you can change it. Obviously, and the good thing about most of these apps is you can cash out of the bet.
Yes.
So if you don't like your bet now because then you cash out and you get your money back, and then you put it on something else. So.
Yeah.
You don't have to just. The old way you did it is you just bet and then you end up losing $10, exactly. But whatever. But
lost the juice.
Yeah. But here the most of the apps let you do that, which is cool.
So the red hot Miami Dolphins plus 3 at New Orleans here, and the Miami Dolphins, it was looking a little bleak for them last week.
They're 1-7. By the way, to start, they were 1-7.
Yeah, 1-7 start the season.
Won 6 in a row.
Yes, they are playing very well on both sides of the ball. Tua is playing better than I thought he would. He made a few mistakes last week that almost cost them, but in the end, they win the game. Most people had a push on that one.
I took him at -5.5 in the parlay, so I bet it down. I've done this thing. You know, I start betting it under. It used to be betting in the 6.5, but you can't do that now because the extra points are so far away. So you just bet it down to minus 5.5. So I had that, and I did that same thing with Buffalo as well. So I didn't really need it in that game, but.
So Miami going against a team that just shut out Tom Brady and the Tampa Bay Bucks.
Do you know how many times in a row the Saints absolutely own Tampa Bay?
Yes.
They lost them in the playoffs last year, but like in the regular season, 7 in a row.
Yeah, they were swept again.
It's so crazy.
Yeah. So and
3 weaknesses are Eli Manning,
the
Saints in the regular season, and it was like something else, but. Yeah, Tom
so he's only got 2 weaknesses.
Just in case you were wondering, that's Trey Wright, our producer, chiming in.
Tiffany, you want to say anything to
this? Do you
this?
have anything to say about the New Orleans Saints? Executive Director Tiffany Harper, she has nothing to say, nothing to add to this discussion.
But just before we talk about this, Miami is going to get Jalen Waddle back.
Yes.
Phillip Lindsay back. They're both going to be off the COVID list.
Who needs Phillip Lindsay when you have the Duker? You have the Dookie Johnson coming through for Miami.
And then they're going to have Miami is getting healthy now. They're going to have. Maybe William Fuller might come back. No, he's actually on the injured reserve here. So they're going to start getting some other players back here. So they're starting to get healthy.
And they're on that winning streak. They have to go to New Orleans now against the team that just shut out Tom Brady and Tampa, as I said, a team that is fighting for their playoff lives, and yet I'm taking the road team. I'm taking the dog. I'm taking the Dolphins plus the 3.
Yeah, I love the Dolphins in this game. This is another team where, when they were 1-7 and they won like 2 games to get to 3-7, I started looking at their schedule. I'm like, the Jets thing. I'm like, man, the Miami has a chance to get to 8-7 here. I remember writing about it a month ago, and now they're 7-7, and this is the game because they play the Titans on the road next week. Or the following week, and then they finish at home with the Patriots, who's going to need that game. Yeah. So this is the game.
Have to win this
if
game.
They get to 8-7 and split against the Titans and Patriots, they probably get in the playoffs.
This is almost an elimination game, not mathematically, but this is. For
and there's a
lot
lot of those games this week. The Broncos and the Raiders, and there's a bunch of them. Yeah. It's just a massive game. I'll take Miami on the money line, plus 145. The other thing I'm going to do is the same thing I did with the Cowboys. I'm going to actually take Miami on the alternate spread line at minus 5.5 because I think they're going to win. So if they win by a touchdown, it's plus 250.
Yeah.
So, and Miami raced to 20 points. Once again, I think they're going to win. They're plus 187 on that. So if you think Miami's going to win the game, race to 20. I mean, that's a crazy bet.
If you think Miami's going to win, that is a good bet. So we both
some good value.
Yeah, we both like Miami in that one. So that is our Monday night prime time bet, week 16 again. We appreciate you tuning in, whether you're listening or watching on YouTube. We do appreciate it. And you watching on YouTube, hit that subscribe button, the notification bell, the like button. All our picks are free. You'll never, ever be asked for any money. Free. Yes. And,
free.
Free. Go to HowToBet.com for all the information you will need. When we come back, our over-unders for Week 16. We've been crushing it with our over-unders, so tune in for that. Back after this, go to HowToBet.com.
Let's get it.
Let's take it back to How to Bet, hosted by gambling masterminds Daryl Fine and Sean Miller.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to How to Bet, or How to Bet podcast. Go to HowToBet.com. I'm Daryl Fine, along with Sean, the Genius Miller. And it's time for our over-unders. And remember, you watching us on YouTube, hit that subscribe button, the like button, the notification bell, and then go down and leave comments. You want swag, ask for swag. We'll get you out merchandise. And a little further down that description box, hit that. That'll get you the links to the previews, which are oh so important. The previews will also include injury/COVID reports, odds/COVID reports, and exclusive offers to various different sports books around the world. So get to howtobet.com. And Sean, it is time for our over-unders here. We've been doing very well with our totals. So why don't you go first here in the NFL? over-unders for Week 16.
So I'm going to go, not knowing how the game goes, obviously Tuesday, I'm going to look at the Giants in Philadelphia. I'm going to go over 42. I'll be honest, I think the Eagles kind of cover that themselves. I'm going to give you a little bonus play here. If you're looking for a team total play, I think the Eagles over 26.5 minus 118. You could even probably bump it up to 28.5 at plus 135. I think the Eagles are going to be the majority of this over. Okay. I don't know how many points the Giants are going to score, but I think they'll probably score a little bit. But I'm going to go over 42. I think that line's pretty low.
All right, so over 42 at Philadelphia. Giants at Philadelphia, over 42. Next up for you.
San Fran, Tennessee, over 44.5. I just think there's going to be some points scored in this game. I mean, 44.5, it's 24-21 goes over. So I just think the game's in the 20s. So I think you got to take the over 44.5 here.
So San Francisco at Tennessee, over 44.5, and now your third over-under for Week 16.
Third over as it is.
Over, yes. You're an over guy.
Yeah. Indianapolis, Arizona, over 48.5. Once again, I think, both teams, I think Indy scores 30 themselves. 30-20 here is over. I just think this is a game, like the last game I thought in the 20s. I think, one of these teams or both gets into the 30s here. And I think Taylor runs all over him. He has the possibility to score 5 touchdowns. So I'll take 48.5. Arizona's so banked up.
So Sean's overs for the week: Giants at Philadelphia, over 42. San Francisco at Tennessee, over 44.5. And then Indianapolis at Arizona, over 48.5. My over-unders for the week, I'm going to start in Green Bay and Lambeau. I'm going to go Cleveland at Green Bay. I'm going under 45.5. I just don't think there'll be a ton of points scored on the Cleveland side.
Score,
So I'll go under 45.5 in that one. The LA Chargers at Houston, I will go over 47.5. I think Houston will actually score some points in this game. I know the Chargers will. Yeah, Mills is actually not horrible. So I do think they'll score some points. The Chargers will score some points. So I'm going to go over 47.5 in that one. And then I'll finish it out in Minnesota, where the Rams at Minnesota, I think this is going to be a big, high-scoring game. I know Minnesota did not put a lot of points up against Chicago on Monday night, but I think they will in this one. I'm going over 49.5, a big total too, but I'll go over. I just think that this is going to be a track meet. I see a lot of points being scored in this one. So my over-unders for the Week 16, Cleveland at Green Bay, under 45.5. The Chargers at Houston, over 47.5, and the Rams at Minnesota, over 49.5. And there we have it. I want to wish everybody a Merry Christmas, Happy Kwanzaa, whatever.
Happy holidays, you got to say now,
holidays.
man. You can't say all that other stuff.
Yeah, well, I just did. So happy holidays. We'll be back before New Year's, so you'll be able, we'll wish you a Happy New Year next week.
Got a big bowl game show, man.
Yeah, we have big bowls coming up. Bowls. I said bowls. Big bowls. Big bowls coming up next week. Yes, we look forward to that. And we'll have our Parlay Power plays for you, our primetime bets, our over-unders, and yes, we will give you bowl games next week. Thanks to our producer, Trey Wright. Go football team, right? Trey Wright, our executive director, Tiffany Hartman, for Sean the Genius Miller. I'm Daryl Fine. Again, happy holidays, everybody. We will see you next week. Go to HowToBet. Go to HowToBet.com. Thanks for watching. See you next week.
See ya.
Thank you for listening to How to Bet, hosted by Daryl Fine and Sean Miller. For more information about betting guides, online gambling, betting odds, including NFL betting lines and odds, go to howtobet.com. Watch all How to Bet podcasts on YouTube. And to access all How to Bet podcasts, go to 1077thebronx.com/howtobet.